Hello everybody, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Brittany. If this is your first time seeing me, welcome. And in today's video, I'm basically doing a just a little makeup look, but I decided to incorporate my natural hair in there. And I didn't really go too in depth with the natural hair because I feel like I want to save that for another video. But yeah, I just hope you guys like how it came out. This is obviously the final look and it looks good. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you follow me on Instagram as well. And yeah, I'm coming with some more heat, so stay tuned for that. I'll catch y'all later.
Hey everyone, so to get started, my hair was previously braided into like 16 braids or so, and I left the braids in for 5 days because I really wanted my hair to be really stretched out. And before I take these braids out, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Blue Magic hair cream, and I really like how it's very moisturizing on my hair, and this is what I find that moisturizes my hair the best. But before I take the braids out, I'm just applying that on my scalp and then on the braids just to give the braid out some moisture so my hair isn't dry when I do take it down. Now, I was very nervous taking down these braids because I had never done a braid out before. As you can see, I was really cautious, really treading lightly. But when you're taking down your braids, you don't want to rush it. Please don't take them down like you're taking off some box braids because you will not get the desired result. You have to take your time, you literally have to take your good time and literally strand by strand, you have to just slowly but surely take out the braids because you don't want the hair to get frizzy. It will get frizzy if you rush it, and that is not, we are not going for the frizzy look, especially not on the first day. So just make sure you take your time. Take your time. I cannot emphasize this enough. You have to take your time. And by the way, this is not really going to be an in-depth braid out tutorial. I will be making another video for that, so make sure you subscribe for that because it's going to be bomb. So subscribe. And y'all can see this big smile on my face. I was really pleased with how that first braid came out. I'm not gonna lie, it got me real hype. So yeah, after this point, I was like, okay, I guess I'm doing it the right way. And so I didn't stress as much. But I know usually the videos that I was watching, people usually went in with a moisturizer after they took down each braid. But because I was using hair cream, I did not want to put all that heavy cream on my hair. So it all depends on what you're using. Some people use leave-in conditioner, some people use hair cream, some people use shea butter. So it's really all up to you. But yeah. Now, in order to keep the excitement of the video, I basically did all of the rest of the braids in the back off camera. And I decided to hop back on camera to, do the front because I feel like the front is a key factor in making sure your braid out looks good. And the front, I did braid them much smaller because the smaller the braids are, the more defined the braid out's gonna be. So I made sure the braids in the front were hella small. Not hella small, but smaller than those in the back. But at this point I was really excited because I already saw the look coming together and I was just waiting to fluff everything out at this point. So once all the braids were taken out, I started to separate the strands. And this is also a very key factor because you don't want to over separate because that can also lead to frizziness. So you want to be very, very, very careful. I was very careful making sure I didn't separate what was not meant to be separated. And yeah, so basically you just separate the strands that are already separated or separate the strands that were meant to be separated and you will have a fire braid out. Now, in order to help in the separation process, I decided to shake my head from side to side because I was not about to sit there and separate all day long. And I basically focused more on like one side than the other. And also at this point, I wasn't really sure how I wanted to style it. So this is basically where I went off camera. And then I came back and I decided I wanted a bang in the front. And I was feeling myself so much. And yeah, and I was ready to get into this makeup look. So let's get into it. So I'm going to start off by using my P. Louise palette. This palette has the most perfect transition shades, and that's why I'm always picking it up. But before we put on the eyeshadow, I always make sure to prime my eyelid, and I use my LA Girl Pro Concealer, even though I do usually use my Too Faced, but we're out, so we have to, you know, basically use the next best thing. And after I apply that, I, you know, blend it out with the Real Techniques brush. And the shade I went for was an orange shade. That's kind of like, orange is the color that I gravitate to the most for transition shades. But yeah, so we put that on the lid, and now we're just blending everything out. And then to follow that orange shade, I took another brown shade, well, not another brown shade, but I took this dark brown shade in the P. Louise palette to further deepen it up, because, you know, I want it to be real deep. And then I went back into the orange shade to make sure everything looks really blended in. And so going into our soft glam palette, y'all already know the color I'm coming for, that black color, that black eyeshadow. And I'm using a Precise Morphe brush to place that right into the crease, because I really want the black to shine through by the time I cut the crease. And so to cut our crease, I like to use a much lighter concealer shade than what I would use like anywhere else on my face. And I'm using, the shade is Porcelain, basically the lightest concealer that they have. And I just find that my cut creases are more precise that way. And so yeah, I'm taking a flat brush, and I like to flatten out the brush myself, because the flatter the brush, the more precision that you get. And yeah, and so for our pigment, I'm taking this Milani pigment, and it's kind of foily in consistency, and I'm not gonna lie, it was very difficult to work with. Like, I am not used to working with like different, you know, textures of pigment and stuff like that. So this was really difficult to work with, and I'm just glad that the eye look came out somewhat okay and decent. I like it, so. Now I will be taking my Fenty Beauty Power Couple. I love this primer. It's so moisturizing. I love it so much. Now, because it is like extremely moisturizing, sometimes, like, or not sometimes, like I usually give it like 5 minutes before I put the foundation on there. And, you know, it just gives me a much better application that way. And, you know, we can't forget our forehead. Even though we got the hair covering it, we still cannot neglect it. And then after the primer, I went in with my Milk Makeup, and this is like a blur stick, and I just put that in, like, I just put that basically on the areas that light shines on. So basically when I'm taking my photos, my face will look hella smooth, hella airbrushed, and yeah. And I put about 2 pumps or so of foundation on my hand, and I like to use my finger to apply it before going in with the brush. And this brush is from BH Cosmetics, and I really like how it's not so dense. So basically the foundation application will be more sheer and less like cakey. So that's why I like this foundation brush, especially for this foundation. And also, I'm trying this new technique for concealer, whereby I put the concealer on the back of my hand and use a flat brush to apply it under my eyes versus like going head first with the concealer. I just kind of like how smooth it looks while like using the flat brush to apply it. And I feel like it gives you like a much higher leverage, like, because you already spreading out the concealer, so it's already smoothing out. And so going in with the Beauty Blender, it's a really nice finish. I really like this method. I just love how it looks. And I like to start off by blending the edges of my concealer versus going head first and just straight pounding it in, because the edges are much more difficult to blend. So I like to get the hard stuff out the way and then, you know, get to the other stuff. Now, I am also applying some extra concealer under my eyes, and this is a much lighter concealer than what I used. And, you know, I just want a bright under eye, so, you know, don't judge me or nothing. I just like to be snatched. Now this contour shade that I have purchased from the beauty supply really catfished the hell out of me because it looked nothing like this on my hand. So it really baffled me because it was literally not even there. And I was just like, well, what is this? Like, this is just not what I planned. And yeah, I just didn't really like that. It's so hard for me to find a contour shade. I don't know why. I don't know what it is, but it gives me some trouble. It does. But, you know, I decided to go forth with it. I don't know. I was literally just doing this just to do it because I still had to go back into my other contour to really, you know, get the real effect. So and to set in all of that beautiful luscious concealer, I'm taking my handy dandy Airspun powder, and this is a translucent this is the translucent shade, and I like to use a damp beauty sponge to basically press all of that into the skin and, you know, set it up real good. You know, I don't bake because my skin is very dry, and that just will not, that won't come out good for me at all. So yeah. So to bronze my face, I'm taking my Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Coco Mommy, or no, Coco Naughty. And this isn't really, it's not really my shade right now because I've gotten darker. And as you can see, it's barely doing anything. Lord have mercy, it's barely doing anything. So that's why we have to go back into our translucent powder to create that illusion that we did contour, because our contour game has not really been the strongest in this video. But thank God for this translucent powder, and thank God for this method, because now it looks like I contoured when I really didn't. So now I'm going in with my waterproof eyeliner just to line the bottom, my bottom lash line. I didn't really bother with the eyeliner for like the top of my eyes or the top of my lash line because, I mean, the consistency of the pigment just, it's just not going to allow it to do that. So I decided to scrap it. Now I'm going in with mascara. You got to get those bottom lashes right, especially because, you know, on the top, you know, we're using lashes anyway. So we got to make sure that bottom is right. So I focus more on the bottom lashes with mascara than the top. And then I am glowing. We are going in with our highlighter, Wet n Wild highlighter. And I love this highlighter so much. And now I'm just carefully applying my lashes. You know, this can be a tedious job, so, you know, it takes some concentration, you know, but we got it. And you know, once those lashes come on, you just start to feel yourself, okay? And I was zhuzhing up my hair, honey. I was looking good. And so we are almost done. So for my lips, I'm basically just using very simple nude Coloupop lip glosses, and I line them with the Makeup Shayla Coloupop BFF liner. And yeah, like I just put one lip gloss on top of the other, and I created this little cute nude glossy look. And ladies and gentlemen, this is basically the final look. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for, you know, just supporting. And make sure you follow me on Instagram, and I will leave everything that I used in the description box. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye now.